Listen, Credheads, have I got news for you. Thanks to our sponsor, Anchor Branding, Credits now has official merch. We've got amazing stuff Anchor has made for us. If you want to promote your love for Jesus and your appreciation for movies, it's super high quality, it's comfortable, and it looks sick. But don't wait. They're available right now for a limited time through next Friday, October 24th. You can check it out and order yours at the link in the show notes or in our bio on Instagram at The Credits Podcast.
Is this a kissing book?
Wait, just wait.
When's it get good?
Keep your shirt on. Let me read. Wesley had no money for marriage, so he packed his few belongings and left the farm to seek his fortune across the sea. It was a very emotional time for Buttercup.
I don't believe this.
I fear I'll never see you again.
Of course you will.
But what if something happens to you?
Hear this now. I will always come for you.
But how can you be sure?
This is true love. Think this happens every day?
All right. Listen, this movie has lots of lines.
Yeah.
Fantastic lines.
Yeah,
Very
which-
quotable lines. The most quoted one is just because the guy has a speech impediment.
It is funny. It's shocking. It did catch me off guard a little bit this time because I haven't seen this movie in many years. Yeah. And you're expecting almost like, what's the guy who plays Snape? Like that type of voice, but like deep.
And he does it so abruptly, marriage,
Yeah.
that it catches you a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about this movie because I love this movie, grew up with this movie. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
You want my thoughts?
Yeah.
So this is my thoughts on The Princess Bride. This is asked me last week. Probably, don't hate me for all you lovers of this film. One of the most overrated movies ever.
Whoa.
Is what I would have said.
Goodness
is what I would have said. Then I gave it the rewatch. I think I've never understood what this movie was trying to be until this time around. And honestly, I think it's better now than probably it was even then. At least my palate is ready for it. Because I think this movie was essential to basically break genres existing separate from each other. This movie is obviously a comedy. I think a comedy first and foremost. Also an action movie, also a love story. And also like the whole structure of it being like a story. I think as a younger kid, I didn't really get it. Like I didn't understand that they were trying to be funny. Some of the dialogue is quirky on purpose, not quirky boring. But watching this time, I was like, wow, this is thoroughly entertaining. Well, the thing that I was shocked by was the quality of the writing. Like every little joke, like it feels like
nothing is wasted.
Yeah.
In the dialogue, everything is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the way that like the conversation's happening about how the six-fingered man killed his dad and like even that premise is funny. But then it comes through to like this satisfying end. Like, I don't know. It's super duper well written.
Yeah.
I think part of the charm of it is that it's such a movie that like the sets are super fake looking. Like that person is obviously wearing a costume, you know?
Well, the thing that I noticed this time is it has the moments where you're like, you're right. The set feels staged. The rock is probably styrofoam and this is on a soundstage. And then it cuts to some really beautiful landscape shots that were like shot on location, sunsets and these rolling hills and stuff. And so it does have both.
Yeah. It is intentional in the way that it draws you in with kind of the more earnest, like love story moments and the fight for justice and good and all that kind of stuff. And then it also gives you you're in the Miracle Max's shack with Billy Crystal. I mean, all-time film moment for me. I had never thought that was an interesting part. I always thought that it was bizarre and strange. Yeah. It was so funny.
It's so funny. And so something you touched on, this movie being better now. This movie has an unbelievable shelf life. What I would call one of the true timeless classics, where you watch it today and it still looks great. The jokes still land. The themes are like, still important and understandable today.
Yeah.
The only thing that does date it is when the kid's playing the
Playing the
baseball
video
game
game.
at the beginning.
But even that is part of the charm. Like, I think we've talked a little bit about like comedy just does not age well. Any joke, even if it's not like a topical joke, just our senses of humor and our tastes change over time.
Yeah.
But something about a movie like this, it just holds.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to put my finger on what it is, but it's just so universal.
Very enjoyable. Which leads us perfectly into our first segment that I want to do, which is shortlist.
Let's do it.
And something you just touched on was that this movie is a genre blender.
Mm-hmm.
You said you would call it a comedy. I would say I primarily call it an adventure story, and I could see someone calling it a romance, which is part of what's great about it, is like it is all those things.
Yep.
My first short list I want to do is adventure romance.
Yeah.
And what I'm clarifying as adventure romance is not an adventure movie with romance. You could clearly call it a romantic movie, or you could clearly call it an adventure movie, and it is definitely both.
Well, the big one to me that I was catching similarities as I was watching the movie of like, I wonder if this was partially the foundation for Shrek.
Yeah.
A lot of
Shrek
Shrek
in my-
vibes. Humperdinck is very similar to Farquaad, similar hair, similar kind of
Maybe
just in general.
maybe similar jokes in the names.
Yeah.
I thought of Shrek. I thought of Beauty and the Beast. One that I thought of was Titanic.
Okay.
Where you're like, it maybe leans more romance, but it is this adventure of escaping the Titanic. Romancing the Stone.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm interested in
I was
how
about
we're
to say that.
determining adventure versus action.
Sure, I guess that's true.
But yeah, that's, I think, for sure in the conversation.
Moonrise Kingdom. It's children that are having the romance, so it's not as romantic, but it's still a romance adventure.
Okay.
As I was looking these up online, I haven't seen Big Fish in a while.
Such a weird movie.
Lots of people were saying that Big Fish is a adventure romance.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Being weird, as always.
Other ones I thought of: Enchanted, The Mummy,
Oh, yeah. Enchanted. Yeah.
Count of Monte Cristo, Fool's Gold, Matthew McConaughey. What would you put your top three? For me, I'm going Princess Bride, Titanic, Shrek.
Yeah, I think Princess Bride's got to be in there. Honestly, I think Enchanted, if we're going adventure romance, that feels like just picture perfect for the category.
Yeah.
And Shrek.
Yeah. You have a list you want to do? A short list?
Yeah, let's do, how did you word it? Movies where the love interest falls in love with the villain.
Yes. And I kind of tweaked it on my own notes a little bit. Female protagonist in relationship with the antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shrek.
Shrek falls into Shrek 2 also because
Oh, yeah. Prince Charming.
Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast also falls in
Yes,
that category.
That was going to be the other one.
With
Is
Gaston.
it obviously, oh, well, that's true. I was actually going to
you were
say
thinking of
the Beast is the villain in the
in the
beginning,
beginning.
and
True,
then
true.
the love changes him.
Aladdin. He like hypnotizes Jasmine into marrying him.
Forgot about that.
Also Titanic, which has got a lot of overlap. She is supposed to marry that, which he's not really the antagonist. You just root against him because he's rich and snobby.
Yeah, those are some good ones. There's quite a few,
Pirates
actually.
of the Caribbean. Elizabeth is going to marry Norrington.
Yeah, the deleted scene from The Lion King where he tries to get Nala.
No, he tried. He tried. There's plenty of movies where the villain tries.
Yeah.
I would put probably on my top three Aladdin because of the hypnotism of it all. Feels a little more interesting. I would then say Princess Bride because you root so heavily against it. And then maybe I'll throw on there Shrek because of the height difference.
I'll sign off on that list.
I want to do wrestlers in film.
Yeah. So let's have the Rock conversation.
So The Rock has done plenty. John Cena has honestly done plenty.
Yeah, a lot.
I'm not a big fan of either of theirs, really.
Did you see recently The Rock came out and said, basically, I've been typecast as a big blockbuster movie star and not being cast in like dramas.
Oh.
The Rock wants his
Okay.
Oscar.
Well, if you want to not be considered a blockbuster meathead, maybe don't do so many Fast and Furious movies.
And maybe don't do so many steroids. Just lay off the steroids. Maybe you'll get a few more dramas.
He's done plenty. Here's some others that I put down.
Well, let me throw one out at you right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
The great Kal or Kali, I think his name is, and in Get Smart, they refer to him as Easter Island Ed. He's the big enforcer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I actually had The Rock in Get Smart as like the villain, but he's kind of a side role.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant in this, The Princess Bride, obviously.
Yeah.
You have in The Dark Knight, the prisoner who takes the switch and throws it out the window.
Oh, really?
It's Zeus.
Doing what you should have did 20 minutes ago.
In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the guy who gets chopped up by the plane propeller, the Gestapo, Pat Roach. Hulk Hogan has been in his number of films.
Yeah.
Most notably that I wanted to point out, Muppets from Space, Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, and Gremlins 2.
Wow, what a legend.
Yeah. Sabretooth in X-Men.
Yeah.
The original Sabretooth is Tyler Mane.
Okay.
You obviously have Dave Bautista in Guardians of the Galaxy, all the stuff he's done, Glass Onion. Randy Savage in Spider-Man, Bonesaw.
Yeah, Macho
Man. The other one I had on here was, wrestler named Kevin Nash played Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
The old ones?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
What's your top 3 favorite of that list?
To me, Macho Man Randy Savage turning it up in Spider-Man is definitely on there.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah. I feel like The Rock has to be on the list somewhere. To me, it would be the Rock and the Pacifier. Or sorry, not the Pacifier. That's Vin Diesel.
You mean
the Game Plan.
The Game Plan.
Yes. Love Andre the Giant in this. I'd probably throw him in.
Yeah.
But I love Bautista, honestly, in a lot of stuff, but in Guardians.
I know. It's hard to leave him off. I'm going to put him on my list. I got him as Drax in the Guardians movies. I have to put Randy Savage as Bonesaw.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put Andre the Giant on this list before rewatching this movie this week.
Yeah.
After rewatching this movie this week, I just love his delivery.
He's real sweet.
Especially when he tries to be the Dread Pirate Roberts. And he says,
"Oh, yeah.
The Dread Pirate Roberts." So I'd put him.
Okay. Throw him in.
All right. I want to do a new segment. And what spawned this idea was that in this movie, these characters, I know them from this.
Yeah.
With the exception
Not
of
Robin
maybe Robin Wright from Forrest Gump is probably the other thing I associate her with.
Did you catch introducing Robin Wright in the credits? So I guess this was her first role or something close to it.
Wow. So if I see any of these actors in other things, I go, oh, that's Prince Humperdinck. Yep. Or, oh, that's Wesley. I don't associate them with anything else but this. So I want to throw out some different movies that they have been in. We're going to take the 6 most notable faces in my mind. So we have Wesley, we have Buttercup, Fezzik, Inigo, Humperdinck, and Vizzini. I'm going to name a movie. You see if you can guess which of these 6 people was in that movie.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start off with Toy Story.
It's got to be the short man, the little guy.
Vizzini.
Like it's got to be him.
Wallace Shawn. Yeah. He plays Rex in all 4 Toy Story movies.
Yeah. I was, for some reason, thinking like Ham or something. But yeah.
Yeah.
Rex.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas? And I'll give you a hint. This person plays Jack Skellington.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what Jack Skellington's voice sounds like. I'm going to go with Wesley.
It is Humperdinck.
Really? Yeah, that was my second
Chris
guess.
Sarandon. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Who of these are still working? I'm going to go with Andre the Giant. No, he's dead.
Yeah.
You
said
dead.
Who of these is still working? Let me guess the one guy who's dead.
The one guy who's dead. Well, then my brain went to who's working. Then my brain went to who would be in that movie. And I'm like, I feel like he could play a big goon or something.
Did you see the...
Is this a primary character?
Not a lot of screen time.
I again will guess Wesley.
It's correct.
He's got a handsome face.
Carrie Elwes. I don't know how you say his last name. Elwes?
Okay.
Yeah. Which of these actors was in the DCEU? Listener, that's the DC universe with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and Justice League, Wonder Woman, all of those before James Gunn has revamped.
Multiple projects?
Multiple projects.
Oh, my God.
Returning character.
I have legitimately no clue. Humperdinck?
Robin Wright.
What?
She's Antiope in Wonder Woman. She's in the Justice League. I think she has a brief scene in maybe Batman vs. Superman. Or she's in Wonder Woman 1 and 2.
She's like one of the Amazons?
Yeah. She's like the leader of the Amazons. I know. It doesn't really look like her. Probably because Zack Snyder makes it so dark and gritty.
Oh, yeah,
to seeing her in this.
She's not so nice in that.
Who's in Smurfs, The Lost Village?
Oh, it's got to be the short guy.
He plays Papa Smurf.
What year was that film?
That was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I don't know what Papa Smurf sounds
I
like.
haven't seen it either, but
I'm going to go with Humperdinck.
it is Inigo.
What?
Mandy Patinkin, which also is his name, Mandy Patinkin. Not the manliest, but it's perfect for
crazy
Papa
name.
Smurf. Mandy Patinkin, who plays Inigo, is Papa Smurf.
Wow. Never saw him again.
Final one. It's a difficult one. Who showed up in WrestleMania 3?
Robin Wright.
Andre the Giant. This was his biggest role. And then, honestly, passed shortly after. There's a documentary, apparently, about him that I've heard is very good and very sad.
Mm.
Yeah. Let's get into the meat here.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we have said, we're talking about The Princess Bride. If you have not seen The Princess Bride in a while, here is a quick summary. This movie opens with the grandfather reading his grandson a fairy tale. Buttercup, engaged to the villainous Prince Humperdinck, is kidnapped but rescued by her true love, Wesley, now the Dread Pirate Roberts. Along the way, he duels the vengeful Inigo Montoya and befriends the gentle giant Fezzik. Captured and tortured, Wesley is revived with the help of Inigo and Fezzik, and together they storm the castle. Inigo avenges his father, and Wesley outsmarts Humperdinck. In the end, they escape, proving that true love, loyalty, and wit triumph over evil. This movie is probably one of the movies that just most clearly is about true love. Like, they say it multiple times.
Yeah.
That priest with the speech impediment says it. The grandpa describes how their kiss was the most passionate, the most loving, the most true.
Mm-hmm.
So you could easily take this conversation that way.
Yeah.
That, I feel like, is the most obvious and maybe not the most interesting, but there is a lot to be said there.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is to take just kind of one further step from their true love. Wesley makes a promise. He promises to come back and to be with her, to be with Buttercup. And when she says, "How do I know?" he says, "This is true love. You think this happens every day?" Meaning, because of my true love for you, I will keep my word. I will keep my promise. So I want to talk about specifically commitment and keeping promises, because then that is a theme throughout the rest of the movie with all of these characters.
Yeah.
God's character is the model for commitment. We are made in God's image. We are his image bearers, and he commands us to act in the way that he acts, to follow his example and follow the example that Jesus set. And God keeps his promises and is faithful. Numbers 23:29 says, "God is not human that he should lie, not a human being that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill?" Overall, it's pointing to, hey, humans lie and deceive. God does not.
Yeah.
He keeps his word.
Yeah.
Farm boy, polish my horse's saddle. I want to see my face shining in it by morning.
As you wish.
As you wish was all he ever said.
Farm boy, fill these with water. Please.
As you wish.
That day, she was amazed to discover that when he was saying, "As you wish," what he meant was, "I love you."
His way of saying and showing his love is committing to her. You make a request, I will do it. You need something, I will provide it.
Yeah.
That is his love. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians, the importance of love and the true love that we find in Jesus' character. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And I think there's a couple of those things in there about rejoices in truth, perseveres, not self-seeking, does not dishonor. Like, those are all the things that Wesley is doing when he's saying, "As you wish," is he is embodying that. And so then after he goes off to seek his fortune and she thinks he's dead because his ship was taken by the Dread Pirate Roberts, the only thing that makes her break her promise is she thinks he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So she does have this commitment to her great love, Wesley. She just thought he was no more.
Mm-hmm.
He returns because of his promise of true love. His commitment cannot even be stopped by the dread pirate Roberts or her thinking he's dead. He has made this commitment to come back. He's going to come back, and he does.
Yeah, totally. Whenever she thinks that he's gone and dead, he is essentially free from his commitment. Like, he could easily go off.
Sure, she broke her end.
Yeah, he could be free of that. I think an important element of this conversation around commitment, and specifically the way that God keeps his commitments, I think about the idea of a covenant, which is a word that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but I have heard it described as different from a contract where you uphold your end and I'll uphold mine. A covenant is I will uphold my end and what I'm committing to no matter what. That is a very foreign idea to us naturally, and I think culturally, the idea that, like, even if something isn't quote unquote like making me happy, or like if I'm being wronged in some way, then I need to like cut that off, walk away.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like that's what God does for us. It's like his grace and his love is there for us, whether we uphold our end or not.
Yeah, it's total commitment. God has committed to us. He has a covenant with his people, and so he calls us to it. And so I think a lot of times the call to be committed to one another, to keep our word, to be honest, does not promise that the other person we are keeping our word to is going to do the same.
Yeah.
It's not, hey, keep your word unless they break their word and then give up on them.
Mm-hmm.
God has kept his word to us. He keeps his promises no matter what. He tells us to do the same. And he tells us to do that for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not for us, not for the other person that we're making promises to, the other human being, but for him.
Yeah.
So that we are reflecting him, and that then brings honor to God, brings glory to God, but then will be rewarded for us in heaven.
Yeah.
And we will be right back.
Hey, listener, we just want to take a pause and say thank you for listening. We love getting to do this podcast, and it's listeners like you that make it possible for us. If you're not following us wherever you get your podcasts, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, do it. That way you can stay in the loop every time a new episode drops. If you know anybody who would love this episode or any of the other movies we've covered, don't be afraid to go ahead and share it with them. That would help us out so much, and we would really appreciate it. Thank you so much again for listening.
All right, listener, let's talk branding. Because if you want your brand to actually stand out, you need Anchor Branding Company. These guys are the pros at turning your logo into something people actually want to wear, want to use, or show off. From premium custom apparel and branded merch to eye-catching office signage or more, they do it all. And if you're thinking, I want to get my company's gear out there, but I don't want to pack a million boxes, good news. They do it all. They do everything for you. You need some uniforms? You need a swag store? You need something else? Anchor Branding Co. makes it all happen. Go to anchor-branding.com to get started today. Because if your brand is going to make some waves, you should probably have an anchor. And back to the show.
I think about whenever Wesley, like the moments when he's willing to continue pursuing and striving after his love, even whenever there is an obstacle in his way. Time and time again, it happens throughout the movie, but I think about whenever he's being tortured and he's basically like, I'm just going to deal with this because it's like, that's what it takes to remain steadfast for my love.
Hey! Hello in there! Hey, what's so important? What you got here that's worth living for?
True love, you heard him? You could not ask for a more noble cause than that.
Sonny, true love is the greatest thing in the world. Except for nice MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton is nice and lean and the tomato is ripe. It's so perky. I love that.
You know, Jesus endured the cross for love.
Yeah.
God has endured, lots of the rejection in the Old Testament and rejection from us and our sin, the ultimate betrayal. He also gave up his son for love. It says, for God so loved the world.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of motivating factor behind it. And I think what you pointed to is, I think, a really interesting and great thing about this movie is that Wesley's love, his commitment to his love is what drives him.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, because he is so determined to keep his promise to come back and be with his love, it leads him to being just in my mind, the truest hero of maybe any story ever.
You're just stalling now.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? You've beaten my giant, which means you're exceptionally strong. So you could have put the poison in your own goblet, trusting on your strength to save you, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. But you've also bested my Spaniard, which means you must have studied. And in studying, you must have learned that man is mortal, so you would have put the poison as far from yourself as possible, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me.
You're trying to trick me into giving away something. It won't work.
It has worked. You've given everything away. I know where the poison is.
Then make your choice.
I will. And I choose. What in the world can that be?
He has become cunning. He can track them. He has become strong. He climbs the cliffs and he fights the giant. He has become skilled. He can beat Inigo, this expert swordsman. He's become smart. He beats Vizzini. He's built up the tolerance to iocane powder, all because he has this motivating factor of, I have made a promise to come back and be with my love.
Yeah.
And so that is what makes the Dread Pirate Roberts not kill him. That is what has led him to train and learn all these things and become this kind of just ultimate hero.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. Proverbs 3 says, let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. If love and faithfulness is the thing that marks the lives of Christians, that inevitably is going to be respected by others. Doesn't mean that it's always going to work out, but if love and faithfulness marks the believer and that however they live and go about their days, that's how they act, people can't help but respect that.
Yeah.
And it brings honor to God.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the image of what you were just talking about, how he's basically become this like superhero.
Yeah.
Why? Because he centered his life around his great love.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's become the thing that every other decision that he makes revolves around, is moving closer to being united with his love. When he wakes up, what he eats and drinks and practices, he's building himself up so that he can put himself in the best position to maintain that commitment that he's set out toward. He's not just committed in like intellectually or even like emotionally. In practice, his life is being revolved around maintaining that commitment.
Yeah. You know, like this movie or not, like root for that guy, the honest, the true committed hero.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes you root for everyone in this movie, because in this movie, it really shows the good guys. They are truthful, they're honest, they commit to their word, and they do what they say they're going to do. The bad guys lie.
Yeah.
And it's just very clear. Vizzini lies, Humperdinck lies. Every word that comes out of their mouth is deceit. And even Fezzik and Inigo, who are like initially presented as antagonists because they kidnapped the princess, they're these honest guys.
I promise I will not kill you until you reach the top.
That's very comforting, but I'm afraid you'll just have to wait.
I hate waiting.
I could give you my word as a Spaniard.
No good. I've known too many Spaniards.
Is there any way you'll trust me?
Nothing comes to mind.
I swear on the soul of my father, Domingo Montoya, you will reach the top alive.
Throw me the rope.
As he's climbing up the cliff, he gives him his word that you're going to reach the top. Then when he's up there, he's like, no, take your time.
Yeah.
I'll let you rest. We'll make this an honest fight.
Yeah. I just do crimes to pay the bills.
Yeah. He fights him with his left hand because he's like, well, it wouldn't be fair if I fought you with my right.
Yeah.
Same with Fezzik.
What did I do?
Finish him. Finish him! Your way!
Oh, good. My way. Thank you, Vizzini. Which was my way?
Pick up one of those rocks, Get behind the boulder. In a few minutes, the man in black will come running around the bend. The minute his head is in view, hit it with the rock!
My was not a sportsman like.
He could hit him with the rock. He misses on purpose. They want to give a good, honest fight.
Yeah.
They're like these villains, these henchmen for hire, but they're not bad guys. And whenever we see their characters, because they have committed in friendship to one another, they're honest and true to their word. Things like Inigo has this commitment to avenge his father.
Yeah.
And it's, again, built on love. He loved his father, so he has this commitment to him, and so he follows through with it. Fezzik, just being the gentle, loving giant that he is, he's there for his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so the good guys in the movie embody that commitment to one another, that truth, that honesty. The bad guys all lie.
Yeah.
Everything they say. Proverbs 19:5 says, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free."
Yeah.
And the reason, just like we said, the reason we are true and honest is because that's God's character. Satan's character is, he's the father of lies. That's how the Bible describes him. Jesus was telling the Pharisees, you belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies.
I mean, I think what you're describing there with all of the good guys, they have things that they're committed to, but they have a commitment to like a code. And we're going to, I think, talk a little bit more about that with The Dark Knight coming up. They are not just doing what they do in a self-serving way. There's an honesty and they're just committed to certain values, right? That's ultimately the thing that brings them together, is like they fight each other fair. They kind of see this in each other. And that's what's able to ultimately unite them in the end. And I think that's a picture for us of like, whenever we are moving in a common goal with other believers, like there's no choice but unity. Whereas I think whenever we can lose sight of what our ultimate commitment is, if we get sidetracked by being overly committed or zealous by like whatever, a sports team or a political belief or this or that, the things that we let in between us, whenever our true sense of self is not rooted in our commitment to Jesus, then that unity can break. But the opposite is also true. Whenever we recognize that in others, it's able to bring us together.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the end, that's what you see, is that it brings them together as friends who protect each other. You see Fezzik's loyalty to Inigo. Well, he comes and nurses him back to himself after his drunken whatever. And then later on, they commit to Wesley. They bring Wesley back and they commit to protect him. They have this bond of friendship and it brings people together. Whereas the deceit and lies of the enemy tear apart. Satan's goal is to destroy. John 10:10 says the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. That's his goal. But when Paul is writing to the church about being unified, as a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you've received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Bear with each other, be patient with each other. Stick together for the unity of the Spirit, of God's Spirit, that brings unity in the bond of peace. In the end, it's like the Six-Fingered Man and Humperdinck don't stick together. They both go their separate ways and get destroyed because of it. It's the heroes who are true, who are honest. They keep their commitments to one another, and they end off riding into the sunset on these horses together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. As we're talking, I'm realizing there's kind of essentially two different types of commitment that are embodied in this movie. One is commitment to almost like an end, to a goal of Wesley freeing Buttercup, of being restored with her, of Inigo with his, avenging his father. And that's a thing, they're like centering their life around that end, but also it's this commitment to each other that helps each other move towards those goals. Because they are unified, like we're talking about, because they're committed to one another, they're able to actually be more effective in the thing that they're ultimately committed to. Yeah. Which I think is really cool.
Wesley's commitment to Buttercup or Inigo's commitment to his father is this hey, because you are my greatest love, my life is centered on this. And that's God's character towards us as people. That's, Jesus came and died for his great love for us. We then now following God, he is our life's goal. So we've committed to him. But because of that, we are to live lives that are honoring and committed to each other. And that's like the friendship piece of this movie, where they are now committed to each other because of the way that they live. Our greatest command, Jesus said the greatest command is to love the Lord your God and love others. Romans 13:10 says, love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. So if our greatest commandment is to love God and love others, and it says that love is that fulfillment of the law, it doesn't do harm to others. Deceit is harmful to others. And so I think that's what this movie shows. And I think in Zechariah 8 kind of sums this message up that we've been talking about, which is these are the things you are to do. Speak the truth to each other and render true and sound judgment in your courts. Do not plot evil against each other. Do not love to swear falsely. I hate all this, declares the Lord. That's the Lord's command to his people. Be truthful. Be honest. That is how you are to commit to one another and conduct yourselves. Don't do evil. Don't lie. I hate that deceit. Satan's goal is deceit. And so for us to love the Lord and love each other is to be truthful and committed to our word with one another.
So good. I think something that's so endearing about this movie is it is what you think of as a cliche, like the love story about the hero rescuing the princess. Like if somebody was pitching that movie, it's like, oh, we've seen that movie a million times, but we really haven't.
Yeah.
Like it's there's something so resonant about it that it feels like just pure and right about it.
Yeah. When Humperdinck says, I have my wedding to plan, my wife to murder, and Gilda to frame for it. I'm booked.
Yeah.
I want to see that guy lose,
Yeah, it's a great one.
At the end of this movie, Andre the Giant comes back and he says, look, 4 white horses. And I thought, there are 4 of us. If we find the lady, hello, lady. Then they all jump down from the window and they, ride off. In that moment, Inigo is stabbed in both arms and the gut and I think his leg.
Yeah.
Wesley still can't use his body, yet they both get on a horse and ride off.
See, this is what's good about this movie is it's not afraid to be like not make sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they poke at things just enough to where I feel satisfied. Like whenever he's like, why are you wearing a mask? And he's like, we also wear them. They're very comfortable. It's like, okay, why is he wearing a mask to like sort of hide that it's him? But it's like the fact that they directly address it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we have a lot more of now. Like I think Marvel movies do that a ton, but it's just so well written.
Yeah. I think these jokes that are in this movie get funnier and funnier to me the more that I watch them. It's a very quotable movie.
Dads love quoting this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
You keep on saying that word.
I do not think it means what you think it means. But it becomes funnier back to the original thing we were talking about in this conversation where this movie's just timeless. And I think part of it is the humor gets funnier the more times you watch it.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. Be reliable. Speak the truth to each other. Don't be deceitful. Roll credits.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and on Instagram at The Credits Podcast. If you know someone who would love this episode, go ahead and shoot it to them in a text. If it doesn't brighten their day, it'll certainly brighten ours.